Hello again and welcome to Letter from England, broadcasting for AC Press and the Spanish Evangelical Alliance. The wave of expulsions of Christians from Morocco last month is having great repercussions across Europe and is causing grave concern to the Christian community in general. The Spanish Evangelical Alliance issued a statement complaining that Moroccan Christians are being harassed, arrested and interrogated, and that their freedom of conscience and their freedom of worship are being restricted. The Alliance calls on the Moroccan Government, and they plan to notify the European Union and the United Nations as well, to observe fundamental human rights. At the same time, the Alliance will be doing all it can within the law to get the Moroccan Government to change its attitude and to guarantee basic rights in its country. The Alliance says there have been serious incidents. Based on news given by many different reliable sources, among them direct witnesses who've contacted the Alliance, they say that in the course of March 2010 a coordinated effort has been made in Morocco to interrogate and expel Christians of many different nationalities: South Korean, Brazilian, Dutch, South African, Canadian, Egyptian, English, New Zealander, American, Venezuelan and Nigerian, people who were living in different parts of the country and under false proselytism accusations were given just 24 hours to leave the country, without even the right to defend themselves in a proper legal process. The Alliance considers the campaign unjustifiable and claims that it has been organised from the highest levels within the Moroccan government, and that it's coincided with the appointment of the new Home Secretary, Taib Cherkoui. Alliance leaders consider especially serious the police intervention in Ain Liu, which ended with the closure of an orphanage there called Village of Hope, which had been working for more than 10 years, and as well as having government approval to operate, had passed all required periodic inspections. The Alliance leaders say it's obvious the authorities knew the people running the orphanage were Christians, but although they satisfied current legislation, in less than 7 hours all the staff had to leave the country and say goodbye to the children to whom the orphanage was giving a stable environment. All of these children are now in a very precarious position. Well, based on the information they already have, Alliance General Secretary Jaume Llenas and Eliseo Gómez-Lor, who heads up the Alliance Commission for Religious Liberty, want to denounce as well that in general Moroccan Christians are being harassed, arrested and interrogated in an attempt to coerce and to restrict the exercise of freedom of worship and conscience, two of the fundamental rights of any human being. In a communiqué signed by both of them, they say that under the false accusation of proselytism, there is the purpose to cover up the active passivity from the Moroccan government, which leads to break de facto Article 28 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which proclaims that everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience and religion, that this right includes the freedom to change his religion or belief, and the freedom, either alone or in community with others, and in public or in private, to manifest his religion or belief in teaching, practice, worship and observance. Well, that's very far from the state of affairs in Morocco currently. The campaign highlights a paradox, though, in the Moroccan legal position towards non-Muslims. While Article 6 of its constitution proclaims the right of freedom of religion, Article 200 of its penal code punishes any activity which could lead someone to change his religion. So in practice, unless you're born with a particular religious belief, it's not legal to change it, at least not away from Islam, to a different religion. Now, even if the Minister for Justice asserts in his speeches before the UN Human Rights Commission that Morocco is trying to adapt its legislation to the requirements which imply the observing of human rights, actions speak louder than words. And the Alliance criticises the fact that this campaign to harass Christians has very little to do with the discourse of the government of Morocco on human rights at the United Nations, and that it doesn't coincide at all with the conditions expected of a country given development aid through the UN Advanced Statute, as Morocco was in 2008. The Alliance says that there is a universal principle shared by most religions which consists of treating each other as we want others to treat us. They say we can't even imagine the kind of protest which would come from Morocco if any state treated in a similar way the hundreds of thousands of Moroccan citizens which have freedom of religion in Europe, including the chance to spread and express publicly their faith among European citizens. Well, given the seriousness of these incidents, the Alliance, which has been defending the freedom of thought and religion for more than 130 years, can do no less, they say, than demand the strict observance of the fundamental rights inherent to all human beings, by the government of Morocco. They also reserve the right to take all possible legal action through the media, civil associations and other groups capable of helping the government of Morocco to change and to make them grant all of these fundamental rights to all its citizens and foreigners residing in its country. Thank you for listening to Letter from England, broadcasting at emission.net. Goodbye.